I am so excited to have Carolyn Caldwell with us today for Don't Let Grant Stress You Out because, well, in our field, rejection, it's a reality, one that we wish we could avoid. But Carolyn, I know that you've got some common reasons for rejection and some suggestions and tips on how people can maybe avoid that, right?
Do. Yes. Thanks, Diane. I appreciate the time because rejection is a reality. Everybody has faced it in the grants industry. I have plucked out two primary reasons that grants get rejected that I'd like to talk about, if that's okay with you.
Sounds great.
So, number one is you're just not aligned with the funder's priorities. Having an aligned mission, your values, the goals that you want to set, and have that be aligned with what the funder wants to accomplish as well is primary. Primary. I actually set up a scorecard with different factors that I give weight more or less to that help me decide, is this funder better, a better option, a better chance, a better way to use my time, or is this other one better? We all get thrown curveballs by well-meaning board members. I just had one the other day who, whips around the corner and says, "Oh, we should apply to Mackenzie Scott," or "Oh, we should apply to Oprah," or "Oh, we should apply to Bill Gates." So there's all kinds of reasons to either go for a certain suggested funder or not.
Yeah, that's, I think, a really important thing to recognize for a common reason that it could turn into maybe even a fast no. And so the scorecard that you mentioned, what is it that you recommend that folks do to mimic that idea so that they can also try to minimize their rejection that might come from this particular spot?
Right. So I think the two most important things on my scorecard are, one, are you aligned with their mission? Because funders also have missions. Foundations want to cure whatever disease it is, or end homelessness, or, they have an overarching mission that they're sitting around their board table trying to um, throw their money into and invest in. But they're the brains. I mean, I'm sorry, they're the money, but the nonprofit is the brains
Mm.
and the brawn. They're the ones with the idea, the creative response to a problem or need, and they're the ones who can actually put resources towards it if only they had the money. So the idea is to be the best investment for that funder. So you have to do that by being aligned with their mission. You have to be in their geographic wheelhouse. You have to have an ask amount that's kind of realistic, whether it's too large for the kind of grants that they're handing out or it's too small for what they're handing out. And the other crucial, I think, thing to think about, the other crucial factor in talking about a funder alignment is, do you have a relationship? I think that could cut through just most anything. Do you have a relationship with their executive director or anyone on their staff or any of the board members? Can you work within your nonprofit to see if there are any connections that can be focused on helping your grant application succeed? And if you don't have that relationship, can you start it? Grants is just not about writing. It really is about how you develop success by through relationships.
Yeah, I think our team has been talking about the word of the year in grants is relationships. With the increasing level of competition, foundations are seeing the changes in government grants that are also influencing why foundation, you know, numbers are rising for applications. Relationships help you stand out. So I love that that is part of your recommended base scorecard idea when people are considering alignment to hopefully minimize rejection. I think that's spot on. All right. So
Score is very high. Yeah.
yeah, I would
And
imagine.
it
And
really should be something that you put on your calendar. Just like you put deadlines on your calendar, it's really something that you should be religious about and make sure that you check in either quarterly or semi-annually or whatever it is, or anytime there's news that breaks within your organization or your program reaches a benchmark. Get in touch with a funder that's that's going to want to know about that, whether you've been funded by them or not.
I think that's great advice. Now that takes care, funder alignment is one of the top reasons that you've seen grants be denied. What's your second most common that you want to help people avoid?
Really boils down to the strength of your program. This is a biggie. So if your program is just not accomplishing its goal, it's not meeting the goal and having the impact that you expect it to, or that you can rally behind, you need to examine that program. You need to take a step back. If in program creation, there's a germ of an idea, but it's maybe all tied up in activities and it doesn't yet talk about, well, that's great. We've got those activities. How is that reaching our goal? If if your goal is increasing the graduation rate in your school district and your program is giving high school graduates a new car, are we really getting to the bottom of why kids don't graduate? Or are we just incentivizing the kids that would already graduate? Are we really getting to our kids learning so that they can graduate? Right. So it's really looking at your program through a hard, difficult lens.
And so if that's a common reason then that proposals are denied, what is something that proactively internally an organization that's getting ready to apply, how can they, I mean, they're in the weeds. So to them, their program's great, but how can they sort out if there's something about their program design that might be a weakness in an application that would lead to rejection? Do you have any suggestions?
Do, and that would be to put your program through the logic model process. The logic model process is actually something that I've gotten to the point where I just intuit, but it is a process of program design creation, or for an existing program, program refinement that you can put your program through that will help you with not only building a strong program that gets funded, but through the process, it will also help you with budgeting, with evaluation and reporting, which is big. And it's the key to proposal writing. Because if you've got a logical flow of, right, your problem to your goal, that's what you need to communicate to your funder in your applications. And it's awesome. It's awesome. There's there's just a way within the logic model to look at, are your activities leading to the right outcomes? When and where and what measurable outcomes are we going to measure? Are we going to be able to say we'll report back to the funder? But more importantly, where are we going to evaluate and what are we going to evaluate and at what point in the flow of the program? So that then, if something isn't leading up to a measurable that we decided, we can backtrack and know where the problem started and work to fix it.
Yeah, that's a
So
great
it's really
suggestion.
magical. It really is. And
I
I have a free ebook, Why Proposals Get Rejected, that is available. Diane has the link, and it really breaks down what is otherwise a very kind of difficult concept. Objectives, outcomes, all the different terminology. So well, it's a real help in breaking through and getting your team on board with a logic model.
Well, that sounds great. Yeah, there's so how many O words could there be as it relates to grammar? Outputs, outcomes, objectives, not well, so I think it's a great resource that you're making available to everyone to try and help again minimize the rejection that otherwise, right, might be in front of them. They're doing great work, these grant-seeking organizations of all shapes and sizes. And I think the two common reasons for rejection that you've called out, the funder alignment and then kind of program design and how it's communicated, I think are spot on. And so I appreciate you highlighting those for everyone. Hopefully, by thinking about those two more, it will help to reduce their stress level as it relates to grants. So, Carolyn, we'll make sure that everybody
Increase
has
their
the link.
success.
Right? Yeah. Get the money they need for the programs. Flip it. Talk about the positive. So we'll make sure everybody has the link in the description and in the comments to your free ebook, which you've so generously made available. And if folks want to learn more about your work, what's the best, is it web address, LinkedIn? Where should they go to learn more about your work?
Well, on LinkedIn, you can follow Unlock Dash Grants and receive my monthly newsletter and any other blogs that I put out. All those resources, though, are also available on my website, which is unlock-grants.com.
Excellent. Carolyn, thank you so much for sharing your expertise and wisdom, both the GPC and the CFRE, right? Those are a unique combination for folks to have both. So thank you for bringing your wisdom to our community. I appreciate it so much.
Thanks for the opportunity, Diane.